This is a four-part policy-focused message template that I find very useful for anyone who's doing scientific or academic or economic research that has bearing on any sort of public policy issue. It can also be really good for scientific research that has bearing on what a company is doing, what an institution can do, like a school or a university, or really what individuals can do too. Think of this as a policy-focused message template, as sort of a decision-making focused message template. This focuses on a problem that is being studied, a solution to that problem, which is just a general way of addressing that problem, an action or series of actions that can be taken by a target audience that are consistent with that solution, and then finally the benefits. That's the last point. What are the benefits that can accrue or could accrue as a result of taking those actions? And those benefits might be expressed as trade-offs too, if it's something where the outcome is not totally obvious, so you can also think about it in that way. The example that I want to bring up is from a radio tour that I did with Jalon White-Newsome, who's an incredibly talented communicator. She's a public health researcher by trade, and she did a lot of work about access to heat relief during heat waves, especially in low-income communities. Think high rises where people might not necessarily have access to air conditioning, and particularly with older populations, with older folks who are particularly susceptible to heat stress. And this was an interesting project because it combined stuff at the local level that people can do to combat heat stress, to watch out for each other, with the broader effects of climate change, which are making heat waves and extreme heat worse. So I will pull up that message template now, and we'll go through the basic messages that we came up with, as well as how we punched them up with some sound bites that we thought would be memorable, particularly for a radio audience. The way we described the problem was pretty straightforward. It's that low-income seniors are becoming more vulnerable to heat-related illnesses as the climate warms. The solution is we found that senior centers with strong community bonds are better able to respond to extreme heat. The action, that buildings should come up with heat response plans and identify floor captains who can check on their neighbors. The benefits, that these plans save lives at little to no cost. This is a pretty straightforward public health message, and we went through this and thought, what are some good sound bites here that drive these points home? We restated the problem this way, that for older Americans, summers are hotter than they remember, and that presents a special danger to low-income seniors. So sort of putting yourself in the audience's shoes for a second, right? And instead of just talking about these broad climate trends, we're talking about older Americans. So what did the climate look like, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago, right? Can you use the fact that you're talking about this population to talk about climate change over that period of time too? The solution, we found that senior centers with strong community bonds are better able to respond to extreme heat. We switched that to just say that strong communities are safe communities, and that's true when we're talking about extreme heat too. So strong communities are safe communities, just a little bit of alliteration, kind of a cliche, but it just shortens that, right? What about these response plans at the buildings? The way we described that was it's simple as having a floor captain who could knock on a neighbor's door to check in, so painted a little bit more of a picture. And on the benefits front, we said that in the middle of the heat wave, that knock on someone's door, a knock on someone's door can prevent a stroke, right? So again, with both of these, just painting more of a picture for the audience, what could these solutions look like? So hopefully, if you have a policy-relevant message, you're thinking how it fits into this framework. I think is a very powerful, simple, straightforward framework for thinking about these policy-focused, decision-focused messages that scientists often need to deliver to us members of the public who benefit so much from their research.